Welcome, travelers, to a symphony of dimensions. In a universe where reality can be rewritten, a hidden melody connects the threads of existence. The Quantum Symphony is a story of discovery, where humanity uncovers the hidden harmonies of the cosmos. Join us as we dance between worlds, exploring the boundaries of what is possible. Can we master this cosmic orchestra, or will the music overwhelm us? Brace yourself for an epic journey across the multiverse. Subscribe now to be part of this extraordinary adventure. In the year 2345, humanity had reached the pinnacle of its technological achievements. Space travel was routine, and colonies thrived on distant planets. Yet, there were whispers of a cosmic phenomenon that defied all understanding: the Quantum Symphony. It was a mysterious event where the fabric of reality seemed to vibrate in harmony, creating ripples that altered the very essence of existence. Legends spoke of a lost civilization that had once mastered this symphony, using it to shape the cosmos. Dr. Aaron Voss, a prodigious astrophysicist, had dedicated her life to unraveling the secrets of the Quantum Symphony. Her research had led her to an ancient artifact, a device known as the resonance orb, which was said to amplify the vibrations of the quantum lattice. The resonance orb was believed to be the key to understanding the symphony and perhaps even controlling its power. Driven by curiosity and a desire to bridge the gap between science and the unknown, Dr. Voss decided to activate the orb and unlock its secrets. The resonance orb was a small, crystalline sphere, its surface shimmering with an iridescent glow. As Dr. Voss prepared to activate the orb, she felt a surge of excitement mixed with a touch of trepidation. The orb's power was immense, and its activation carried risks that could shake the foundations of reality. Yet, she was determined to proceed, knowing that the potential rewards were equally monumental. She activated the orb in a specially designed chamber, surrounded by advanced sensors and recording equipment. The orb pulsed with energy, its glow intensifying as it began to resonate with the quantum lattice. The air around her vibrated, and the walls of the chamber shimmered with light. Dr. Voss felt a strange sensation, as if the very fabric of her being was being rewritten. The orb's activation opened a portal to a parallel dimension, one where the quantum lattice was visible and tangible. Dr. Voss found herself standing in a surreal landscape, where the ground was composed of shifting patterns of light and energy. The sky above was a kaleidoscope of colors, constantly shifting and changing. She was no longer in her own reality but in the heart of the Quantum Symphony. As she explored this new dimension, Dr. Voss encountered beings of pure energy, creatures that seemed to embody the essence of the quantum lattice. These beings communicated through a series of harmonic frequencies, each tone representing a different aspect of reality. Dr. Voss realized that these beings were the architects of the Quantum Symphony, the ones who had once controlled its power. The beings explained that the Quantum Symphony was not just a phenomenon but a living entity, a cosmic force that governed the balance of all realities. They warned her that the orb's activation had awakened the symphony, and that its power could either be harnessed for good or unleashed in chaos. Dr. Voss understood the gravity of her position and the immense responsibility that came with it. In the heart of the Quantum Symphony, Dr. Aaron Voss found herself surrounded by the living essence of the cosmos. The beings of pure energy communicated with her through a complex language of harmonic frequencies, each tone resonating with the vibrations of the quantum lattice. Dr. Voss realized that these beings were not just guardians of the symphony but its creators, possessing knowledge far beyond human comprehension. The beings revealed that the Quantum Symphony was a natural occurrence, a result of the quantum lattice's inherent properties. They explained that the lattice was a vast, interconnected network of realities, where every decision and action created ripples that affected countless other universes. The symphony was the manifestation of these ripples, a cosmic dance where realities converged and diverged in perfect harmony. However, the symphony had been dormant for eons, its power suppressed by the very beings who had once controlled it. The reasons for this suppression were unclear, but the beings suggested that it was done to prevent the symphony from spiraling out of control. Dr. Voss understood that the symphony's awakening was not just a scientific breakthrough but a potential existential crisis. The beings offered her a choice. She could either turn back and abandon her quest, preserving the delicate balance of the multiverse, or she could proceed, accepting the full weight of her actions. Dr. Voss chose to proceed, knowing that the symphony held the potential to reshape the universe. She vowed to use her knowledge and the orb's power responsibly, ensuring that the symphony would be a force for good. She began her exploration of the symphony, studying its patterns and frequencies. The symphony was not just a random occurrence but a structured, organized event, where each note represented a different reality. Dr. Voss discovered that the symphony was governed by a set of universal constants, which dictated the flow and interaction of realities within the lattice. As she delved deeper into the symphony, she encountered a series of anomalies, disruptions in the otherwise perfect harmony of the quantum lattice. These anomalies were caused by rogue elements within the lattice, entities that sought to exploit the symphony's power for their own purposes. Dr. Voss knew that these rogue elements posed a significant threat to the stability of the multiverse. Determined to confront these rogue entities, Dr. Voss and her team ventured into the lattice, using the resonance orb to amplify their presence and disrupt the rogue element's activities. The journey through the lattice was perilous, with the orb's power attracting unwanted attention. The rogue entities, sensing her intentions, began to resist her efforts, creating traps and obstacles that tested her resolve and skills. Dr. Aaron Voss's journey through the quantum lattice was fraught with danger and intrigue. The rogue entities, sensing her intentions, had begun to actively resist her efforts to stabilize the lattice. These entities, known as the Void Harmonics, were remnants of a forgotten civilization that had once sought to control the quantum symphony. They had grown resentful of the beings who had suppressed the symphony and were determined to reclaim its power. The Void Harmonics were formidable adversaries, their forms shifting and distorting as they sought to disrupt the lattice. They used their advanced technology to create illusions and traps, designed to confuse and overwhelm Dr. Voss and her team. The Void Harmonics were relentless, their attacks coming from all directions, forcing the team to constantly adapt and improvise. Dr. Voss relied heavily on the resonance orb, using its power to create protective barriers and manipulate energy fields. The orb's ability to amplify and redirect the symphony's vibrations proved invaluable in their battles against the Void Harmonics. The team worked together, each member bringing their unique skills to the forefront. Dr. Voss, with her knowledge of the quantum lattice, coordinated their efforts, ensuring that they could counteract the Void Harmonics attacks effectively. The Void Harmonic stronghold was a massive, ancient structure buried deep within the lattice. The structure was designed to harness the symphony's power, using it to create distortions in reality and manipulate the flow of energy. Dr. Voss and her team knew that their mission was to neutralize the stronghold and prevent the Void Harmonics from using its power. They infiltrated the structure through a series of concealed entrances, using the orb's energy to bypass security systems and deactivate traps. Inside the stronghold, they encountered a central chamber, where the Void Harmonics had set up their primary operations. The chamber was filled with advanced technology and ancient artifacts, their surfaces etched with symbols that pulsed with energy. Dr. Voss realized that these artifacts were not just tools but keys to understanding the Void Harmonics' methods and intentions. She activated the resonance orb, its energy resonating through the chamber and disrupting the Void Harmonics equipment. The orb's vibrations caused the artifacts to shimmer and glow, revealing hidden patterns and codes. Dr. Voss and her team worked quickly, deciphering the codes and disabling the Void Harmonic systems. The battle was intense, with the Void Harmonics retaliating fiercely, using their energy manipulation skills to counteract the orb's effects. Despite the odds, Dr. Voss and her team persevered, their determination unshaken. They fought valiantly, using the orb's power and their advanced technology to gain the upper hand. The battle was not just physical but intellectual, requiring them to think quickly and adapt to the Void Harmonic strategies. Dr. Voss led the charge, her knowledge of the quantum lattice guiding their actions. As the battle raged on within the Void Harmonic stronghold, Dr. Aaron Voss and her team faced new challenges at every turn. The Void Harmonics were relentless, their attacks becoming more sophisticated and coordinated. The team had to constantly adapt, using the resonance orb to create barriers and shields that protected them from the Void Harmonics' energy blasts. Dr. Voss discovered that the void harmonics technology was not just advanced but also deeply intertwined with their biology. Their weapons were extensions of their own energy fields, making them incredibly difficult to disarm. The team had to find creative ways to counteract these weapons, using the orb's energy to disrupt their flow and render them ineffective. The central chamber of the stronghold was a labyrinth of energy conduits and control panels, each glowing with a faint, otherworldly light. Dr. Voss realized that the void harmonics were using these conduits to channel the Symphony's power into their systems. She hypothesized that disabling these conduits could weaken the void harmonics' hold on the Symphony and give them the advantage they needed. Using the orb's energy, Dr. Voss and her team began to disrupt the conduits, causing them to flicker and weaken. The void harmonics resisted their efforts, sending waves of energy to counteract their disruptions. The team fought valiantly, their teamwork and coordination proving crucial in maintaining control. Meanwhile, Kira Patel, the team's cultural expert, translated more of the ancient texts left behind by the void harmonics. She discovered that the void harmonics had once been part of a larger civilization, one that had been destroyed by the very power they sought to control. The texts revealed that the void harmonics had been exiled from their homeworld, forced to survive in the depths of the quantum lattice. Dr. Voss and her team realized that the void harmonics' resentment stemmed from their banishment. They were not just rogue entities but survivors, clinging to the hope of reclaiming their lost glory. Dr. Voss felt a pang of empathy for their plight, but she also understood the dangers they posed. She knew that the Symphony's power could not fall into the wrong hands. The team's efforts culminated in the destruction of the central control panel, severing the void harmonics' connection to the Symphony's power. The stronghold began to tremble, its energy dissipating as the orb's vibrations overwhelmed the system. Dr. Voss and her team felt a surge of relief, knowing that they had neutralized the threat. However, their victory was short-lived. The destruction of the stronghold had caused a massive ripple in the quantum lattice, creating new anomalies and disturbances. The team realized that their work was far from over, and that they would need to continue their exploration of the lattice to prevent further damage. With the void harmonics stronghold neutralized, Dr. Erin Voss and her team returned to their base, reflecting on the recent events. They had successfully disrupted the void harmonics operations and prevented them from exploiting the quantum symphony, but the aftermath of their actions had created new challenges. The quantum lattice was now in a state of flux, with anomalies appearing across multiple dimensions. Dr. Voss and her team decided to follow the trail of these anomalies, hoping to identify their source and prevent further destabilization. Their first lead took them to a remote sector of the galaxy, where they detected a series of energy signatures that matched the patterns of the void harmonics disruptions. The sector, known as the Sigma Quadrant, was a sparsely populated region, its stars dim and its planets mostly uninhabited. Upon arrival, the team landed on a small, uncharted planet within the Sigma Quadrant. The planet, designated as Zephyr 12, was a desolate world, its surface covered in jagged rocks and swirling winds. The atmosphere was thin and cold, with a faint metallic scent. The team suited up and ventured onto the surface, their sensors picking up strange energy readings. As they explored the planet, they discovered remnants of the void harmonics activity. The energy signatures were concentrated around a massive, ancient structure buried beneath the surface. The structure, known as the Sigma Nexus, was a relic of the void harmonics civilization, its surface etched with intricate carvings that pulsed with energy. Dr. Voss hypothesized that the Sigma Nexus was a focal point for the void harmonics disruptions, a device that amplified their energy fields and caused the anomalies. The team set up their equipment around the Sigma Nexus, preparing to analyze its structure and energy fields. They discovered that the Nexus was not just a device but a living entity, a manifestation of the void harmonics collective consciousness. The Nexus resisted their attempts to deactivate it, its energy fields strengthening as it sensed their presence. Dr. Voss and her team decided to use the resonance orb to disrupt the Nexus's energy fields, creating a resonance that would overpower its defenses. The orb's vibrations caused the Nexus to flicker and weaken, its surface cracking under the strain. The void harmonics presence began to fade, their influence diminishing as the orb's power surged. As the resonance orb disrupted the Sigma Nexus's energy fields, Dr. Erin Voss and her team faced a new challenge. The Nexus was not just a device but a living entity, a manifestation of the Void Harmonics' collective consciousness. The entity resisted their attempts to deactivate it, its energy fields strengthening as it sensed their presence. The team had to act quickly, their sensors indicating that the Nexus's instability was causing new anomalies across the galaxy. Dr. Voss and her team worked together, using the orb's power to create barriers and shields that protected them from the Nexus's energy blasts. The battle was intense, with the Nexus sending waves of destructive energy to hinder their progress. Meanwhile, Kira Patel translated more of the ancient texts left behind by the Void Harmonics. She discovered that the Sigma Nexus was a key component of the Void Harmonics plan to destabilize the multiverse. The texts revealed that the Void Harmonics had been working on a project known as the Sigma Protocol, a system designed to amplify the Symphony's power and spread its influence across all realities. Dr. Voss realized that the Sigma Protocol was the true threat, not just the Nexus itself. She hypothesized that the protocol was a network of devices and constructs scattered across the multiverse, each designed to feed off the Symphony's power and cause further disruption. The team had to locate and neutralize these devices before they could complete their mission. Their search led them to a series of ancient structures, each hidden on different planets across the galaxy. The structures were guarded by remnants of the Void Harmonics technology, including autonomous drones and energy fields that tested the team's resolve. Dr. Voss and her team faced numerous challenges, using their skills and the orb's power to overcome each obstacle. The team's search for the Sigma Protocol devices took them to the farthest reaches of the galaxy, where they encountered new and unexpected challenges. On a distant planet known as Luxaria, they discovered a device that was unlike anything they had seen before. The device, known as the Luxarian Resonator, was a massive, ancient structure, its surface etched with intricate carvings that pulsed with energy. Dr. Voss and her team had to navigate through a labyrinth of energy conduits and control panels to reach the heart of the Luxarian Resonator. The Resonator was guarded by a series of advanced security systems, including energy barriers and automated turrets. The team had to use their knowledge of the quantum lattice and the orb's power to bypass these defenses. Inside the Resonator, they found a central chamber, where the Void Harmonics had set up their operations. The chamber was filled with advanced technology and ancient artifacts, their surfaces etched with symbols that pulsed with energy. Dr. Voss realized that the Resonator was a crucial component of the Sigma Protocol, a device designed to amplify the Symphony's power and spread its influence across all realities. She activated the resonance orb, its energy resonating through the chamber and disrupting the Resonator systems. The orb's vibrations caused the Resonator to flicker and weaken, its energy dissipating as the team worked to disable it. The Void Harmonics resisted their efforts, sending waves of energy to counteract their disruptions. The team's efforts to disable the Luxarian Resonator were met with fierce resistance from the Void Harmonics. The Resonator's energy field strengthened, creating a feedback loop that threatened to overwhelm the team. Dr. Voss and her team had to work quickly, using the orb's power to stabilize the lattice and prevent further damage. Meanwhile, Kira Patel translated more of the ancient texts left behind by the Void Harmonics. She discovered that the Luxarian Resonator was not just a device but a living entity, a manifestation of the Void Harmonics' collective consciousness. The Resonator resisted their attempts to deactivate it, its energy fields strengthening as it sensed their presence. Dr. Voss and her team decided to use the orb's power to create a resonance that would overpower the Resonator's defenses. The orb's vibrations caused the Resonator to flicker and weaken, its surface cracking under the strain. The Void Harmonics' presence began to fade, their influence diminishing as the orb's power surged. With the Luxarian Resonator neutralized, Dr. Erin Voss and her team returned to their base, reflecting on the recent events. They had successfully disrupted the Void Harmonics operations and prevented them from completing the Sigma Protocol. But the aftermath of their actions had created new challenges. The quantum lattice was now in a state of flux, with anomalies appearing across multiple dimensions. Dr. Voss and her team decided to follow the trail of these anomalies, hoping to identify their source and prevent further destabilization. Their search led them to a series of ancient structures, each hidden on different planets across the galaxy. The structures were guarded by remnants of the Void Harmonics technology, including autonomous drones and energy fields that tested the team's resolve. The team's efforts to locate and neutralize the Sigma Protocol devices were met with fierce resistance from the Void Harmonics. The devices were not just tools but living entities, manifestations of the Void Harmonics collective consciousness. The team had to use their knowledge of the quantum lattice and the orb's power to bypass these defenses and prevent further damage. Finally, after countless battles and challenges, the team succeeded in neutralizing all the Sigma Protocol devices. The quantum lattice began to stabilize, its anomalies fading as the Symphony returned to its natural state. Dr. Voss and her team felt a deep sense of relief and accomplishment, knowing that they had prevented a potential catastrophe. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey. Stay tuned for more adventures as we continue to explore the wonders of the multiverse. Don't forget to subscribe for updates and be part of this extraordinary adventure. Subscribe now to embark on this incredible journey.